Alright, today we're going to talk about texture. We're going to talk about ways that we can add texture and different types of texture. What I want you to do first is make a couple of squares on your page. I've made 6 on my page. They are 2 by 2. Don't make them any bigger than 2 because it's a lot to work with. Alright, let's just start with some basic textures. Let's do brick. Bricks on houses. Let's just do a regular traditional brick. So it's kind of skinny. You don't necessarily have to use a ruler. Eyeball it. Try to make them the same width. The bottom one's kind of going to run out of room. Then I'm going to add my vertical lines. I'm going to stagger that line. This seems maybe too long, so I'm going to throw in the edge there. I'll leave that one. Alright, could we stop there? Sure, and for now we will. Another kind of brick is more of like a stone brick, like maybe something you'd see in more of like a building, not such residential. It's still going to have the stagger. I guess CMU would be the correct term for this. Okay, and we will stop there for that one. I'm going to move on to, so we've got brick. This is more of CMU, which is, I don't know what that means. Is it concrete something unit? I don't know. Now we'll do wood. So I'm going to create some planks. On my first plank, I'm just going to, you actually don't want to have straight lines. You want to have some wiggly lines. This one I'm going to come up there. I'm going to have this one kind of meet it. This is very organic. Throw in some extra lines. Okay, next one I'm going to do a little different because we want our wood to look unique. I'm going to do a knot. Keep with my wiggly lines. And last one, we'll throw in, I'm just going to do straight ones on this one. I haven't done any that just go straight. I mean, they're crooked, but you know, no knots on this last one. Okay, and then I'm going to come back and darken the line that goes between my plank so that it really stands out that that's where my plank divides. I can't even see this one. It's going to do one other thing. I wasn't going to add detail yet, but I think we could do this and almost be done with the wood. I'm just going to outline the edge here. I'm only going to do it on the right side just to show you what the effect would be. But when we outline this edge and we create this little nook in here, it really makes the fact that it's a wooden plank stand out. And to take it just one step further, we would shade on top of that. In one direction. And to take it one step further than that, we would come back over our lines, not perfectly, but because it's sort of shading what we've already put in. We'd come back over the lines, so I'd come back over, and then I would shade one more time. So you can kind of see the progression. Better, best. Okay, next let's do leaves and grass. So I'm not gonna do this whole thing in leaves, but I'm gonna do a basic leaf shape. Yours wouldn't need to be this leaf shape necessarily if you know another leaf shape, but this is really simple. So I thought we would start with simple. I would do this one for now, and you could play with different leaf shapes on your own. I'm going to ask y'all to do some, like, create your own textures anyway, so that may be a place where you would add your other leaf. And I'll throw one more. They don't have to be the same size, they're just generally the same shape. Now to go one step further on our leaves, I would shade them one value. Ooh, that was dark. Try to just stay on the leaves. One step further from that, I would go on the bottom of each leaf and the left, if you can see the left. It's like this would be the left. You're going to kind of want to go in an order, like don't just randomly go here and then here, because you'll miss some. You're less likely to miss them if you kind of just go one to the next, to the next. Okay, and then one step further, I would see where this is coming to a point, and I've shaded on the inside of it. I'm going to add a little bit of a shade on the leaf that's below it. So I'm going to go under it. And sort of in these like crevice areas. Because these leaves are on top, the other ones are on bottom. And then I think I'm going to go one shade darker. Maybe I'll try to do it on the individual leaf. Maybe that would be even more amazing if we contoured on the leaves themselves, but I know that if you're putting this on a whole tree, that would be very tedious. But that is what some people do, so. Okay, last thing I would add is leaves sometimes have those lines down the middle. You don't have to add it on all of them, but it's just an extra detail that I think makes it look nice. Makes it look more realistic. Okay, now we're gonna do the grass. Sorry about that, shaking. Okay, so for grass, I suggest making kind of these random, it's like an X and then a mark. It's almost like you're making a star, but you kind of failed at your star. So that would be it, but to add an extra layer of awesomeness, if you take a just a freshly sharpened pencil and go make lines. So I have a line here. I'm going to make a line right next to it. I'm actually going to zoom in so you can see this better. Okay, so I'm making lines right next to the ones that I've already made. So you're defining those blades of grass. You don't necessarily have to close it in. That one's not closed in. This one is closed in. Doesn't matter. Just get as close as you can to all of them. And you're going to layer it. It's going to go one on top of another. I'm not worrying about whether it goes behind it or not. I'm just trying to go through and catch all of the ones that I added in. This is tedious. I think if you had a whole picture of grass, but it'd be some awesome grass. Okay, so I kind of feel like I've got most of it in there. Then I would come back, and I'm going to go back to my duller pencil, and in between I would shade in those spots. Not perfectly, but you know. Tedious, right? Just a step by step by step, one layer, another layer. I mean, did it look all right before? Sure. Is it starting to look even more amazing? Yeah. Then I'm going to put just a little bit of a kind of a base layer over that. I'm going to add in okay. Now if you had an eraser with a nice edge, I'll just grab this one. You could add in highlights by just like randomly drawing your pencil in there, and that would be it. That would be our grass. Let's come back to the big picture. Did I go too far? Maybe.